All right, welcome everyone. Tonight's Board of Education meeting is called to order. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone. Thanks again for being here tonight. Secretary Joslyn, would you please take roll?
All members are here.
Colleagues, moving on now to the approval of the agenda this evening. Unless there are objections, tonight's agenda will be approved as printed. Good. Okay, colleagues, we're now moving on to our public comments on action items. So these are the items that we'll be voting on this evening. I do not have a green card for any action items, but is there anyone who'd like to address the board tonight on an item that we will be voting on? Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Colleagues, the consent agenda. So unless there are objections, the consent agenda is approved as presented. All right, excellent. So colleagues, we're going to move on to information items now, and we're going to move on. We're going to start off with one that's near and dear to my own heart, the Special Olympics, and we're going to turn it over to Mrs. Nadine Milo-Standard. Welcome.
Good evening, and thank you so much, members of the Board of Education. I am delighted tonight to share with you some information about our Special Olympians. We have had an incredible year. So a little bit about Special Olympics here nationally and statewide and here within our own district. Special Olympics is a global organization that serves athletes and individuals with intellectual disabilities, working along with hundreds of thousands of volunteers and coaches every year. During COVID, unfortunately, all of the sports were temporarily paused. Over the past year, our dedicated staff and coaches and volunteers and parents worked collaboratively to bring this incredibly dynamic and inclusive platform back to our district so that our students could participate in a variety of sports and activities. Through their participation in Special Olympics, our students showcase their determination, their teamwork, and their incredible achievements embodying the values of inclusion and empowerment that lie at the heart of our district's mission. This evening's presentation will share some inspiring stories, outcomes, and plans for future expansion as we continue to support and celebrate the diverse abilities of our students. Here tonight is Kristen Robinson. She is our Life Tracks program coordinator. She has been instrumental, again, in working with our athletes and our parents and our coaches to make sure that everything that they do has a success story. Kristen?
Thank you. So, as Nadine let us know, Special Olympics is back in the Waterford School District. When I started in the district 23 years ago, I had no direct ties to Special Olympics, but I knew immediately that it was here and that it was quite a powerful organization. When I was putting this presentation together, I was curious as to just how long it had been around, and I'm told about, nobody knows for sure, but about 45 years. So, you know, we're just continuing, so it's been amazing. So the first step in getting it back up and running after COVID, coaches. We needed coaches, and we were lucky enough to find 3 right at Kettering High School. So Mrs. Banlow, who is here with us tonight, is the advisor for National Honor Society. With her, NHS has been fundraising for Special Olympics for 12 years, and she wanted her NHS students to directly see the impact that their fundraising efforts had. Mr. Hanna, who's also at Kettering, teaches adapted PE and wanted to expand the sports-related opportunities available to his students in the greater district. And the Mrs. Morse, who's also with us, is a school social worker. And she joined our program because of the passion and connections she's developed with many of our athletes during her years in the district. In addition to the coaching staff, we've had the Kettering girls and boys basketball teams and Mott volleyball team help coach and scrimmage, so involving everybody. The Waterford Wildcats came back this year with 10 athletes. We had 6 from Kettering, 3 from Mott, and 1 from Life Tracks, and ended the year with 26. 9 from Kettering, 3 from Mott, 12 from Life Tracks, and 1 from Mason. In an effort to make the return of Special Olympics special, Mrs. Bandlow also worked to secure some donations for our athletes. So she was able to secure warm-up jerseys and food for each practice from the Wayne State C2 pipeline. And a Waterford Foundation grant helped to purchase new equipment for the basketball and volleyball teams. The athletes participated in 4 different sports this year. So they did bowling and basketball, volleyball, and track and field. The highlight of the year for the Special Olympians, and they talk about this all year long, is the participation in the state games in Mount Pleasant. So our Waterford Wildcats went this year, and the results were pretty phenomenal. These are all the events that they participated in. And they brought home 6 gold medals, 8 silver, and 14 bronze. And so many pictures were sent to me from the state games, and I wish we had time for them all, but here's just the pride in their faces. This is a video that gives you some information about the behind the scenes at the state games.
Well, first of all, Tim, I gotta say thank you for what you do, because I mean, it means so much to so many families, and even us, for folks like me who don't have a special needs person, it's just so neat that you're doing this for these families.
Yeah, I mean, it really is something for everyone, and one of my favorite things now is not just watching the athletes compete, like that's awesome, but it's watching the parents, the neighbors, the aunts and uncles in the stands, and watching their face light up and be able to cheer for the athlete.
How cool is it having this event at Central Michigan University? I mean, this is a storied institution, and you get to do it here, and it's been going on for a while, right?
It has been. It's Central Michigan University has been a huge part of the history and story of Special Olympics, especially the state summer games. Our first state summer games were held at Central Michigan in 1973. They actually hosted a Special Olympics World Games in '75, and we've been coming here ever since. And obviously, the university has changed, Special Olympics has changed, the different sports and venues, but it's still really like home for so many of our athletes coming here.
And just name off some of the events you have, because it blew my mind. This is serious stuff that these athletes are doing.
Yeah, so when we say, Special Olympics is an everyday, everywhere movement. Our state games, as I mentioned, we have volleyball, there's bocce, there's athletics, which is track and field. Swimming, powerlifting is awesome. You'll have to make sure you get over and watch some of the powerlifting. Horseshoes, so all sorts of activities. But one of the great things about Special Olympics is when the summer games wraps up, Special Olympics doesn't stop, and so all of a sudden, the athletes will take a few days. They'll revel in that feeling of winning that medal or ribbon, and then they start working on their next sport.
So, as you saw, our Olympians did great at the state games, but probably the biggest takeaways that I've heard from families and participants are as follows: the sportsmanship, the pride, the team building, the friendships, and the confidence. So up next for our Special Olympians, the Waterford Wildcats are becoming the Griffins. The change in logo represents the expansion of the program across the district into the high schools and middle schools. The Griffin was chosen because it's representative of the courage, bravery, and resilience of our athletes. The Griffins will be working with the middle schools to encourage participation from both Mason and Pierce. And I don't know where Mrs. Morris and Mrs. Van will get all their energy from, but I am told that in addition to what you already saw, they are adding floor hockey in the fall, snowshoeing in the winter, bocce ball in the spring, and somewhere amongst there, top golf. So go Waterford Griffins. Can't wait to see you next year.
A big round of applause. So 6 gold, 8 silver, and 14 bronze. What an amazing accomplishment from the athletes. Thank you so much. Do we have some athletes or some parents who might want to tell us a little bit about their experience with Special Olympics?
We do. We have 2 coaches. We have an athlete and some parents here.
Excellent.
I'll go first. Whoops, I just hit. My name's Kelly Harned. My son is a senior this year at Kettering, and he's diagnosed with autism and cerebral palsy. He was really nervous to join the team, actually, because his hands don't work very well. He made so many excuses. He's got such low muscle tone, he can't speak very well. He's like, who's going to want me on the team? But Special Olympics was probably the best thing ever for him. I've watched Grant and the rest of his team grow, learn how to play and participate in sports, and some of them got really, really good at it. When I asked my son Grant what he likes best about Special Olympics, he says everything. Not only does he get to hang with his friends, but now he has even more friends. He knows people that he's going to know at Life Tracks now, and getting to go to the school, not this year, but next year, he's going to have friends there also. For parents, Special Olympics is actually an opportunity to network and meet other Special Olympic parents and guidance there. So I really believe the spirit of Special Olympics goes beyond the field, the track, the court. The Special Olympics builds friendships and teaches the athletes confidence in themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. That's excellent.
Hi, my name is Joe Riccio. My son Vinny competed. I can say as an educator and as a parent, the social-emotional effects of this supersedes anything in the school district, in society, anywhere. It allows these kids to be themselves, to be with their friends and their peers. Sadly, often our kids live in a vacuum, and even at school, as much as we try, they're still in this vacuum, right? And it's not like all of our other kids. And this just lets them to do all the things that they can't do elsewhere. I asked Vinny to come tonight. He's like, no, Dad, I'm not coming. But I said, well, tell me some of the things that you really enjoyed about, let's just talk about Mount Pleasant. And Vinny will never go to college, right? So the opportunity to sleep barracks, to sleep in the dorms blew him away. He just loved that, to go to the mess hall or the cafeteria, to do all the things that our other children do normally that we take for granted when they go to college. He got to experience that just in that little weekend, and that independence, just with his friends, with other people than myself or my wife or his siblings. So it was amazing. He loved it, and I appreciate your support, and I hope it continues. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you very much for having all of us and giving us an opportunity to speak to you guys about the Special Olympics. My name's Eric Kraft. This is my son, Kevin. This is my wife, Dawn. The one thing that I'll just touch on briefly is the impact that it has with the other kids at the school, being able to interact with our kids and just to understand that there's nothing to be nervous about or be afraid about. And we have such great interaction here in the district, from the elementary school, as far as with my son's opportunities, through elementary, through the middle school at Pierce, and then through Kettering. The interaction in the Links program and allowing the kids to interact with the kids with special needs, it just builds, it takes down that barrier, and it allows for the kids to really thrive in that environment. And that's really what Special Olympics just takes it to a whole nother level, with Mrs. Banlow's NHS children helping us out and coming there and really bonding with our kids doing all the events and watching them grow and get more confident. It's really special, and thank you guys.
Now, Kevin, do you want to tell them? What grade are you in? Tell them what you did. Just tell them what you did.
I graduated this year.
From Waterford,
I
Connecticut.
go from Waterford, Carolina.
All right, go
And
Captains.
what sports did you play this year?
I played track, basketball, bowling, and volleyball.
State games, and what medals did you get from the state games? You got one gold.
Got 1 gold and 2 browns.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'll be real quick. This has been the best year for him ever. Bringing sports, he's grown up, he's the youngest of 4 kids. My other 3 are super athletic. My one closest to him plays football at Saginaw Valley. Kevin has been through every sport with these kids, watched hours and hours and hours. And for him to get this chance this year has been the greatest thing ever. He has loved high school, but this year he had the best time. Interacting with the regular kids, he'd go to football games every week and the kids would bring him into the student section, which he'd leave saying, that's the best night of my life. I mean, so for him to get these experiences like a regular kid has been fabulous. And he is so excited to learn any sport he possibly can and to get better at it. But any support anybody can ever give for these kids is fabulous. Because if we can keep this going, I mean, as long as Mrs. Banlow is willing to keep doing that, or Sister Hannah, they've been so awesome. And it's the same thing. Kev's going to Life Tracks. So it gave him the opportunity to meet, what do we have, 8, 10 kids from Life Tracks. So he's going there not feeling uncomfortable. So thank you. I just wanted to
Thank
talk
you,
about
guys.
it, but it's been a fabulous, fabulous year.
Thank you, 3. Congrats, Kevin.
So my name's Tommy, and again, I used to play basketball and track for myself, and you know, it's been a great ride for me, and I love playing with my friends and always doing it. And I used to play football back then, and for me, it was amazing, and it was pulling with the other coaches back then. I know sometimes they didn't want. They had like not any tall kids or something. I know I had to be benched up like one time or something like that. But I used to play others, and then other sports with the Moth football team. So that's when Coach Farr, he was the best coach ever. He's awesome, and he helped us all the time with my team and all that, and I couldn't do it with my mom and my dad supporting me all the way from all back in the days, all that, because and they always cheer me on and make sure of it, and that's why I just love doing basketball, track, and football. It's been a hell of a ride in my life, so yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
I'll be real quick, I promise. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity you provided us. To be honest, I'm going to admit I really didn't know a whole lot about our special needs students. I knew they were in the building, and I started this because I wanted really, like I said, NHS students to get involved with them. And I wanted to give an opportunity to our all of our students. And so that's why I really, at the beginning of this, came into this. And my mind was blown between the connections that they made with each other. I had no idea, like, all the different things that go on with them and their families and the connections they made with each other. One of the pictures that I had sent to Nadine and Kristen was over during the summer games. We had one of our 25-year-old athletes watching our Mason athlete, and he was a big brother to him the entire trip and making sure that he got to where he needed to be, and the connections that they made with one another. The other connections that I never even dawned on to me was with the students. My first thought was one day, hey, let's invite the basketball team to come and play with us. And every practice after that, every opportunity they got, they wanted to help out. And the more each other students saw it, the more students that wanted to come in and help out. And that was something amazing to me that I never even thought of, that the connections they had with each other, that now I would see them walking through the hallways and stopping and chit-chatting with each other. So again, I just really wanted to thank you for this opportunity that you have provided for our athletes.
Colleagues, comments, questions? Member Torres.
I want to thank you all for coming tonight to present to us and tell us more about the Special Olympics. I always enjoy seeing all the Facebook posts and things online. I know Dawn posts quite a bit, and happy birthday to your son. I know he just turned 18 years old. I saw that on Facebook. But pride, sportsmanship, teamwork, confidence, friendships. I think it's so much more than just the sports. It's all that experience, and I'm so happy that we are doing this, and the pandemic is over and we can get back to these things, and that we're expanding it to the middle schools as well. So, but it was just great to hear the testaments from everybody tonight, just to learn even more. So thank you for that.
Member Sutherland.
I'm going to try to do this without crying. I am so deeply and profoundly touched by your stories. I can't thank you enough, Mrs. Banlow, Mr. Hanna, Mrs. Morse, the NHS students, all of the families that are here tonight and that are part of this program, and most especially these amazing student athletes. Tommy and Kevin, thank you so much for sharing your awesome stories with us. All of the things that were talked about tonight, the connections that you made with one another, but also with other students, the interaction with kids, the socio-emotional learning that goes on and feeling more comfortable in those social settings, the parent connection that you had with other parents, and the inspiration that you are to all of us. So it's such an incredible privilege to have you here tonight, to have this back, and to hear your stories. Can't wait to hear more of them. Can't wait to see you as you pursue these, your Life Tracks years and beyond. And just so incredibly proud of all of our families and these amazing students. So and our staff who make this possible. So thank you so much, all of you.
Member Patricia.
I'll go as a buffer because who wants to follow Joe? And again, everything that you said, and an extra shout out to Mrs. Banlow. I know that my son still, I remember him talking about your classes. And that was then, again, that wasn't yet, it was a while ago. And you're still there doing it. And still on top of Mr. Hanna. It's, Tommy, I've seen you at the Mott games, sitting on the sidelines when I'm over there. Didn't you make the hand plastered when they were doing a sundial? Yep. Way back when. So I mean, you've been here for all these different things. You're part of our fabric of our schools, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's all.
Member Wagner.
I don't like to follow Joan either, so thank you, Rob, for doing that. Everything that they said, but I loved what Mr. Kraft said, and I wanted to say thank you. And having a son myself who, he isn't one of the regular kids, and I love that you said it's breaking down those barriers. Like, that is what is so important for our kids. And this is now I'm going to cry, Joan, thank you. This is such an awesome thing that we do because that's so important. All of our kids are regular kids, and they need to feel included and part of our district, and they are. And this is just something to be so proud of. You guys are amazing, all of you, and I can't wait to see what the Griffins are going to do. And I was wondering if we could know a little bit ahead of time when you're competing, as my voice cracks, because I would love to come see you compete. So if you could, maybe possibly Nadine, if we could know, because this is just so amazing. So thank you for sharing.
We'll make sure that we communicate with Mrs. Roberts, our schedules as we get them. And
That would
They
be,
can be included in your board notes, because better get a seat there early, because the place is packed when they compete.
Member Cosmo.
I just, you know what, it's hard to follow any of these people. So thank you all for coming, for sharing your story. You know, when you pull in the parking lot and you see all these cars, you're always like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen tonight? But so relieved that it was this, such a happy moment, such a great thing for our district. Congratulations on graduating. You know, woohoo, best time of your life. So, thank you.
Member Donahue.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone on this. It's a wonderful program, and not only the connections that not only, as everyone else has said, the parents make, the students make, but I think one of the things that is the experience that the general education students that are working with the Special Olympics students get, and they really get to interact and really understand and see how they can help out with it. And so it's just a wonderful program with it. And looking forward to coming to see the Griffins for some different things, and maybe get some T-shirts, something like that, to help support them. I'd love to do that. But thank you everyone for coming today. This is awesome to hear.
Again, all my colleagues have summed it up so nicely, but I think just to sort of dot the exclamation point, Special Olympics is nothing short of magical. In fact, my older brother, who's a graduate of Kingsley and still at 43 competes in Special Olympics, it was my entree into sports. And so it is not just, it provides a wonderful experience to these wonderful students, but it enriches the community as a whole. And hearing how this has come out of COVID, I just think that we are so proud, happy, and to everyone's point, just can't wait to see what comes next. And a big shout out to parents, because getting to practice, getting to Central, it is a commitment from the families and from our staff, and that's while our athletes are training hard and making sure that they're out there winning 6 gold, 8 silvers, and 14 bronzes. That's amazing stuff. Thank you so much for being here. Nadine, anything else?
No, I think, try to top that, Mrs. File.
Thank you so much. And you can certainly stay. We'd love for you to stay, but if you do want to make an exit, we certainly understand that. And thank you everyone again for being here. Thank you again for being here.
Let's see.
No, so the Warriors are for those who age out, 26 and beyond. Yep. Yeah, they have 60 athletes.
So,
Up to, Waterford Warriors.
okay.
When they start.
So next.
All right.
There we go. There we go.
So subtle.
I tried to be quiet. Someone's there.
Smile.
I'm almost there.
Why is this mouse?
I know that's, okay, so that's why I went to this. So to get it out of, maybe on this?
There we go. I don't think it was that hard.
To get to the slideshow. Okay, good, all right, thank you. Good evening, board.
Good evening, Ms. File. So we are now moving on now to a little information item about our new Grow Your Own program.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to bring to you tonight more good news for our district. You've probably heard in the media or us talking about it, the buzz, grow your own. It's a pretty common catchphrase for a lot of things these days, and we're very fortunate the Michigan Department of Education took this and is doing exactly that for our school districts in many different ways. Tonight, we're going to talk about first the Grow Your Own program for school staff. Then I'm going to get into a little bit more about our special ed programs as well as for our student interns that we do participate here in Waterford. So what is exactly the Grow Your Own program? The Grow Your Own Staff Grant Program is designed to support PK through 12 school districts like ours to develop a pipeline of new teachers and to support the professional growth of existing teachers. So it has two arms to it. Those who do not have a teaching certificate and those that do. The Waterford School District partnered with 6 different educator preparation providers, EPPs. That's a fancy word for ed schools. And the ones that we partnered with are Andrews University. They have a special ed program that we particularly wanted. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Northern, Oakland University, and lastly, Wayne State University. We partnered with these to give our employees choices for programs that they were interested in pursuing because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Oakland doesn't have every single program and endorsement preparation that we need in our schools, right? So maybe you need to go to Central if you're looking to go for speech or for counseling, and you need to go to Eastern if you want world language. So we devised the partnerships with multiple universities. The program is an extension of Michigan's effort to grow and diversify the educator workforce and reduce our shortages. We've been talking about that for a while, haven't we? And COVID only increased that problem. And so MDE responded to the need by allocating funds, in a huge amount of funds, to helping us at our districts help ourselves. Who will benefit from the Grow Your Own program? This will be any Waterford School District employee seeking to earn an initial teaching certificate. So this could be a bus driver, a parapro, food service employee, anyone who does not currently have a teaching certificate. The second group of individuals will be our certified teachers seeking to earn additional endorsements. This could be the math teacher that wants to be also certified in science, or the gen ed. We have many gen ed elementary teachers that are seeking special ed endorsement to broaden their scopes in the classroom. And lastly, I put our community. The stronger that we are as a school district, the more that we can offer to our community. And it enriches, it gives our employees the opportunity to live here, work here, and grow here. How does the Grow Your Own grant impact us specifically, Waterford? We were awarded $2,094,390. And this was an incredible award that will support many, many people in their academic pursuits. These will provide opportunities to increase the number of teachers, specifically in areas of shortage, by helping our employees seek initial certification, as I said, and add additional endorsements to their teaching cert. 57 of our employees replied to the initial interest survey that I sent out. And they said, yes, I'm interested. Here's my stats. Yes, I already have a teaching cert, but I want to become endorsed in math, right? It was as simple as that. Or those that said, I have a high school degree, I have a high school diploma, and I seek a bachelor's degree in which I can become a teacher. So it was very, very broad in the responses. Waterford, we are all happy and proud to say that we were one of 80 educational agencies in the state of Michigan that was awarded this grant. I mean, there's a lot of educational agencies, aren't there? So that's public schools could apply, ISDs could apply, charter schools could apply, and there were only 80 and we were one of them. So what's next? The interest has been profound, as you can imagine, right? From the district level, obviously from the university level too, helping them to get more people into their ed programs, right? MD is going to provide a second round for eligible applicants to request funding. We would be an eligible applicant to request funding for degree granting programs. So we'll be submitting that application on September 6th, by September 6th. The demand for these programs is significant. I mean, the stats on the MDE website, 160 applications for those pursuing search through alternative routes. That is such as Teach for America, the ARC program through Wayne State. And when they say 160 applicants, they mean 160 people like Waterford asking, not 160 individuals, 160 people. So for example, I could have had, we as a district could have had 30 people that wanted to go on that route. So it's a lot. The grants for this initiative ranged from $3,200 to $64,000. The big one, MDE received 120 applications for degree granting programs. They ranged from those awards were $17,000 for a single district to $19 million for a cohort of multiple districts coming together. And we, as I said, we're at over $2 million. So questions before I move on to our other opportunities on Grow Your Own.
Alex? Member Torres?
So is there any requirement for somebody who gets a certificate, let's say, through the Waterford School District, through the Grow Your Own, to stay here in Waterford? Is there a time frame that?
We do. We like the other districts are doing this, and I consulted legal as well as, how legally can we bind employees, right? For every year that they are in a program, we're asking them to work for a year as a teacher with us after they've completed. So if it's a 4-year degree, we're asking for a 4-year commitment to teach at Waterford School District, as an example.
So do we have any, we're asking them, or is there like a requirement?
Well, there's a contract that we ask them to sign, yes. It's an agreement between that they will follow the rules that the MDE sets forth for us on how the program is unfolded, right? How they receive the award, and then their commitment afterward.
And then where's Andrews University?
That's over in the very southwest corner of Michigan. My husband grew up near there. That's why I knew I was doing the whole map. It's a very small private university, actually, and they have Nadine's school psychology. That's it. Yes, thank you. I was thinking speech, but no, thank you.
More like a specialized school.
Very specialized, yes.
Okay.
I believe you've hired several out of that program. Yes.
And then the criteria for us to apply, was it open to every school district, charter, or so
every public school district from the tip of the UP all the way down to every single one, right? As well as the charters, as well as the ISDs.
Thank you.
Right, I think a good note to mention, I know we're over 800 when you put all those together, and we were one of 80 to do that.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's really, it's just a great opportunity for our district, yet again, to shine, right? That we, you roll up your sleeves and you take care of your own, and you work on solving problems. And I think that's what MDE has given us the ability to do with funding, giving these kind of funding.
Alex, other questions about Grow Your Own? Or switch gears slightly? Yeah, Member Sutherland.
I know you're not done yet, so I'll save all my gushing, but there will be some. But relative to the demand, relative to the alternative program, like Teach for America and so forth, those grants of $3,200 to $64,000, that's for the entire district? The total, like,
What they were, that was a stat off of the MDE website, and they were saying that there were applicants that some were awarded $3,200 and some, maybe another district was awarded $64,000 for that program, for those programs.
so was that a separate application process than the one that we went through with all the certifications with Andrews and Oakland and?
It is a two-armed portion in the same application, in the same body of the application. It has two arms to it. One is the traditional and one is the alternative. That's right.
So the $2 million can't be used for the alternative program in Waterford. It has to be through one of the.
Correct. Not yet. So when I go for round two, I'm going to apply again for that alternative. Schoolcraft has a great program. Obviously, Teach for America has a great program. All they can do is say no. So I'm gonna keep asking.
Go get them. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to set a little context as we continue going to this. You know, this has been a part of our strategic plan, and we began with Grow Your Own with some smaller initiatives inside the district. Nadine was a part of that, Susan, but this is very much a passion for Susan and for the district as part of our strategic plan. And I want to give you congratulations. Those partnerships that you set up with the universities were done by you. That was not an automatic.
No, but it's a great opportunity to continue building that, not only for future, but for this program, but also to collaborate with those schools to give us more student interns, to give us more student teachers. You know, I'm begging Oakland, I'm begging Michigan State as examples of, you know, send us more, because when they get here, and we have many, I'll name some of the, not name them, but I will illustrate on how it works. When we get them here and they are interns and they see how Waterford operates, they want to be part of this. It's a year-long, or for Michigan State, it's a year-long. For the other schools, it's typically one semester. It's a great interview for us as an institution to watch how they operate with our students and to introduce them to our classrooms. It's great for it's number one, it's really great for our students in our classrooms. So when they see their student intern then has been hired in their school as a teacher, that's got to make one of our students pretty darn happy.
I was at a conference in June. I think about 22 districts were there. Dr. Michael Rice was talking about, well, if you didn't make it this time, and that was pretty much all of them, you could apply the second time. I just sat there and felt pretty proud of the work that Susan had done on behalf of the district.
Yeah. It's been a great collaboration. The entire team is, you know, super supportive behind this, because it doesn't happen in a vacuum, anything we do. From the business office to teaching and learning and providing these, it's an incredible collaboration that I bring forth here of all of us. So other funding that Waterford School District has received is, I am very happy to report, Nadine and her team have taken full advantage of the special education teacher tuition reimbursement program. So that was rolled out early last fall, or for the 22-23 school year. And this is used to cover tuition costs of up to $800 per credit for a maximum of 18 credits for a teacher, right? Over 3 years. So they can take 6, 6, and 6, right? And when we're doing renewals for permits, teachers have to be enrolled as part of the rules. They have to be enrolled in a minimum of 6 credits per program as they are working towards their new endorsement. So very thoughtfully laid out and in perfect line with what we have to do from the HR sense of our permits and on the MOIC site. The grant funds are intended to incentivize certified teachers to earn an endorsement in special education for employment in a program which they are not currently qualified. Nadine and her staff have taken full advantage of this. We have teachers that say, I really want to work in special education. This has given them the funding and has given them the permission in which to do so. An MDE certified program. Student Support Services assisted 5 teachers this year in earning endorsements and special ed programs. The reimbursements totaled for these employees through March was $36,097 for these 5 teachers. That is significant, right? For the 23-24 school year, 6 additional teachers are slated to enroll in the special education teacher reimbursement tuition program. So that's a total of 11 grow your own in special education right there. This is a shout out to our student teachers. So this isn't a Waterford-driven thing. I just have to brag on the ones that, we had 2 that took advantage of it last year. What this is this is another MDE initiative. They, to assist teachers and help them get to the end of their journey in education and getting that certificate. They put together a program to support them as they are continuing on their journey to become a classroom teacher. And what the student teachers, or student interns as they're sometimes called, were given the opportunity to get up to $9,600 per semester to use towards student teaching expenses, tuition, living expenses, childcare. They had a long list of parameters, and it was easy for them to get the $9,600. During the 22-23 school year, as evidence, $25.2 million was awarded to over 2,000 future teachers, right? That's really incredible. Student teachers who must complete more than 1 semester of student teaching are eligible for stipends in both, totaling $19,200. One of our very own, she first did last year, she first did a gen ed semester-long internship, and then her second semester she did a special ed, and now she is fully employed as a teacher here in our district as a special ed teacher. I will conceal her name to protect the innocent, right? But props to her. I hope she's watching and she knows who she is, right? So that's an example of another opportunity that we are helping to provide. What we do is from Human Resources. Tina Wheeler, she prepares the emails, she gives the student interns, because they're overwhelmed, they have a lot going on, right? Gives them the email, gives them the link, here's the application, here's what you have to do, and helps walk them through that. They fill it out, send it back to us, we certify it and send it to MDE. So we did that last year, and we will continue to do it this year. In summary, I see that, the WSD employees who are recipients of this grant really become ambassadors for our district. In supporting their aspirations to become a teacher or to expand their certifications, we strengthen our relationship with them. And in turn, this helps shape the culture of our district in a very bright, positive way.
Colleagues, what comments or questions do we have? Member Wagner.
I just want to thank you. You have always gone above and beyond since you've been part of our team, and this is amazing. This is great. This is who we are, and thank you. Thank you to all of you for all of this. I mean, how could you not want to stay here after having all these wonderful things? I mean, our teachers are our most important piece of our district, and our children too, of course. But this is so amazing that they're going to have this opportunity, and I love that you work so hard to make sure that this was here for them. 1 out of 80 out of 800 plus districts in the state, that speaks volumes. That is who we are. That's the story that needs to get out there. This is a great district to be part of, and you're making it even better. So thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments here, colleagues? Let's do Member Sutherland, then Member Patricia.
I'm just going to echo. Stop. I am so proud of the work that you and the entire staff have done to make this happen. I appreciate your comment so much about it being a collaborative initiative, because I know you have to get data from all different places, and then it takes, how is the best way to implement this, and teaching and learning involved in the business office and so forth. So just grateful to our incredible staff and to you for going after this, because with these kind of funds and this kind of collaboration with our current staff members and even future staff members, I think creating that relationship with Waterford is brilliant. So kudos, thank you so much for all the work that went into this. Thank you, and onward and upward, the future is bright.
Yes.
And Patricia? Mine was actually a little bit different, but thank you to all the staff. But to the state, again, you tend to pick on the politicians, elected officials, people that, they don't understand education. They're making money available for a very important program. And to me is a huge sign of, after the years of bashing teachers, and then they all got out of it, and then they realized, wow, as we talk bad, nobody wants to get in this business, but they're trying to build it back up. But again, hopefully they just stay out of these type of things, make programs like this available instead of this up and down and back and forth. Yeah. But it's a good sign, I think, from the elected and appointed officials that are making money available for things that we have to do. So,
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to see MDE responding accordingly and putting state budget dollars right here available to help districts solve their crises, their staff shortages in the way that works for them, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. So I agree. I echo that, Rob.
Any other comments or questions for colleagues? Well, thank you to the team. Great news here. Excellent. Okay, we're going to turn it over to Superintendent Lindberg for a little update on Stepanski.
Thank you, President Richards. Well, another reason why the future is bright here in the Waterford School District is because we are building the first new building in Waterford in over 50 years, and that is such an important foundational building for us. That is our new early childhood center, Stepanski. And so this is an update for our community.
Ready? Sorry about that. This mouse is touching.
Keep it going, Scott, right?
Sorry. No. It was the mouse, not me. I'm sorry.
Hello, Scott Lindberg, Waterford Superintendent here at the site of our construction of Stepanski Early Childhood Center. And we are excited to see the progress and share that with you today. So come on in, let's take a look together. First, let's review the layout of the school, since several new sections have been built, and we can take a look at our progress. Area A is the central portion of the building where we will have the front entrance and offices, childcare, and the large motor room. A space where children are encouraged to move, play, and explore. Next is Area B, which will contain the first classroom wing and the mechanical rooms for the building. Area C will have more classrooms and breakout space. Area D will contain classrooms and offices. And Area E will have classrooms as well as speech services rooms. Now that you have a better idea of the layout, here is a list of what the crews have been working on. The exterior of the school is complete, except the metal roof installation is still in progress. All masonry for the building is complete. The concrete is poured in the entire interior of the building. Exterior panels are finished. All the rough mechanical, electrical, and plumbing are completed. Plumbing fixtures are installed except for classroom toilets in Area C casework. Electrical is complete in Areas B, E, and in progress in Area D. The fire suppression system is complete in the entire building. All HVAC rooftop units are installed and have been started. All mechanical work is completed with just a few finishes remaining. The underground detention system is also complete. Exterior site work is underway. All casework and counters are installed except for in Area C. Interior paint is finished in Areas B, E, and D, and Area A offices. Part of Area A and Area C have a final painting left. Hard tile is installed in the entire school. All marker boards and chalkboards are installed throughout the whole building. All wall protection and cork boards are completed. And finally, all exterior doors have been installed and the building is now secure. As you can see, much progress has been made here at the Sapansky Early Childhood Center. And we are excited because crews are here every day preparing for our opening in September of 2024. If you're interested in more information on this project here at Sapansky or any of our bond work across the district, check us out on our website. And again, thanks for your interest, thank you for your support, and thanks for watching.
Colleagues, any questions or comments for Superintendent Lindberg? Member Torres, please.
So it was a nice video. I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you to Jane, to Kelly, who's back behind the wall there.
It was really nice. It just put it all right into, a nutshell. We had the opportunity to get out and tour it. I think one of the coolest things that was mentioned in the video was there's actually chalkboards in there. I didn't even think that, some schools would have that anymore because you don't see it. So I think it's a nice, sign of still remembering the past. It's a beautiful building. So, I just want to give my kudos to you guys on the work that you're doing. And, a year from now, we'll be starting to get in there and see, the kids, utilizing it. Thank you.
Member Patricia, then Member Sutherland.
I was just gonna, how long are the hallways? And them two long wings where you feel like you're at the Outlook Hotel or something? It just.
It does look like it's an endless corridor.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen it from outside, it's all big, but once you get inside, like, wow, this is, it kind of takes your breath away. I think it's coming along very, very well.
Member Sutherland.
Beautiful video. Thank you, Jane, and all of the people that collaborated. Thank you, Superintendent Lindberg. Also want to thank the community. This is your building. This is a lot of hard work by a lot of people, but it's the community that voted in the bond issue to support this for our students. And I hope that this video, I think it's beautiful that we're sharing it with the community even before we're ready to open the doors so that you can see the progress and just as a way to start saying thank you for supporting our schools, for supporting our students, and for supporting your community in this really powerful and important way. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions for colleagues? So just to echo Member Sutherland's remarks, if the community entrusts you with some money to go do something, then it had better be the gem. And I think that we've got the gem over there on Airport. So thank you for sharing that video. Wonderful video. Excellent. All right. Thank you, colleagues. All right. Head Start budget. I think we're going to welcome Ms. Elkop. Colleagues, you have right here.
Yes, thank you very much. You should have received a handout at the beginning of the meeting with the updated information. So tonight we're bringing as information item the Head Start budget for the 2024 calendar year. As a reminder, Head Start works on a calendar year, not a fiscal year basis, which is why we're bringing it at this time. Normally, you would have this presented in October, but the agency that oversees it, which is OLSA, or Oakland Livingston's Head Start agency, has been pushing deadlines. I'm assuming it's coming from the federal government, but that's fine. This just gives us an opportunity to present it to you a little bit earlier. So when we do Head Start, our budget for last year was $804,000. We had increases of COLA and what they call a QIF, or Quality Improvement Funds. So our budget is $873,000 for this year. That involves 5 classrooms and 16 federally funded employees. And your list has each of those employees. So we have 5 classroom teachers, we have 5 assistant teachers, we have some aides, and then we have some other personnel that are in there. In addition, you would see on the second page, about 3/4 of the way down, there's a non-federal share. So this is something that we are required to do a 25% match for federal grants, and this is part of it, is what we share. So that some of that 25% in-kind match is funding part of the principal's salary, speech pathologist, specialist for early childhood, transportation, And then it goes on from there, the fringes for those positions, as well as our custodial services, utilities, and insurance. So these are just normal parts that we've always had. If you look at last year's, you might notice that that section on the non-federal portion was not included. The last 2 years also had not required us to put it. If you look back to '21, they did require it. They're now requiring it back. So this report really is a result of what their requirements are and how they like the presentation for the information. So the budget itself, there's nothing unusual. We were able to do a small increase in the teaching supplies because we had that QIF, or quality improvement funds, that we could go ahead and add to it. I talked a little bit about the non-federal share. In here, I believe the budget is 232, but we only have to get at least 218,000 to hit our 25% share. So we are a little bit higher, but that's pretty normal. We do expect to hit 218, but that is part of the budget there where we go, and if you spend 100% of everything, you'd get to the 232,000 that's presented in this budget. I'm just looking to make sure there was no other notes from Amy that she passed on as she presented this for us. So nope, that was basically the whole presentation for the budget. And like I said, this is pretty much what we've done every year. The budget hasn't changed. The majority of the funds are for staff and the associated fringe benefits.
Thank you for stepping in for Mrs. Dagenhart tonight. Colleagues, questions or comments on this budget? Member Sutherland?
Thank you so much for bringing this forward. I really appreciate all the detail as well. I was just doing some quick math. I'm not quite getting the 873, but if we're looking at the total budget, it would be the 873,612 plus the 232,040.
Correct.
So we have $1,073,652.
Correct.
Divided by 85 students.
Yes.
So each of these students is $12,631.
Yes.
I just want to point that number out because that is a big, big number.
Correct.
And if by comparison, our per pupil foundation allowance pales significantly to that particular number, even though I recognize the federal budget for Head Start, It's different, and the money is covered to an extent, though we do have, a share in that, the $232,000. It's a very important program, a very important need. So glad that we're doing it, but I do think it's important that we understand the cost associated to it and appreciate all that goes into ensuring that we give these little ones the best possible start that we can. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated.
And thank you for pointing that out, because when we did a lot of the benchmarking a few years ago, when we were looking at how much it costs to educate at each level, the preschool level was significantly higher than the K-12 level.
That 14,000 I've had.
Exactly. It was even higher than what we have. So part of that is reflected in this budget, but obviously it's not hitting the benchmark that the research came up with.
I don't think things like building costs and those sort of things are built into this. So
correct.
If they had their own building and we were doing overhead for all of the ancillary staff members, it would absolutely be beyond the 14,000.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Colleagues, other comments or questions? Okay, excellent, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up now, Mr. Holly, we're going to talk about the Title I decodable.
Good evening. Decodable books and text passages are an important part of a structured literacy approach to reading instruction. Decodable texts, different from leveled texts, allow beginning and struggling readers the opportunity to practice reading text that incorporates new skills and letter-sound correspondence that have been explicitly and systematically taught by their teacher. Into Reading, our structured literacy and reading and writing program, provides decodable text for teachers to use in both whole class and small group reading groups. We are seeking approval. I'm just going to show you a few of these. We've got Skip and Scott. I couldn't find one with all of our board members' names, but we've got Bats. Just for examples, you are welcome to come and look at any of these, but it gives you an idea of the kinds of tools that we'd like to put in the hands of our interventionists. So we're seeking approval to purchase additional decodable text selected from a variety of newly published, high-quality fiction and nonfiction resources. Our goal is to create a grade-level collection to support most of our struggling readers in kindergarten, first, and second grade. Each building, based on their Title I budgeted allocation, would receive decodable texts for our building reading interventionists to use so that these students can receive consistent access to these texts. And because they're so short, they go through a lot of different texts. So the requested Title I purchases would allow our students expanded access to this type of text, which is highly supportive to their growth as readers.
Colleagues, comments or questions? Let's do Member Torres, then Member Sutherland, please.
So these are actual physical books then, correct?
They are.
Okay. And that's them right there?
These are examples. They're not exactly these, but because they go through so many, having more opportunities to practice different skills. And the difference versus our leveled text in the past is that these really identify very specific skill sets that they are practicing over and over in here, and allows them to gain their fluency. And they're very engaging and lots of good pictures.
So you said our interventionists will be working with those primarily?
Yes.
And then, so there's no digital component to it at all?
Not for these, but we do have a lot of digital components in our program right now.
I like the non-digital, so that's good. So that's good we're doing it. Thank you.
Member Sutherland?
Because the funding source is Title I, will these materials only go into our buildings that are Title I?
All of our elementary buildings are Title I, so, but they will receive an allocation of books based on their percentage of Title I, based on their Title I allocations.
Okay. So I thought we had certain buildings that weren't. Is that a change, or did they change how we designate Title I schools?
It's been this way for quite a while. I think several years ago, we may not have had some buildings qualify, but for,
I do remember certain programs that certain kids didn't have access to because they went to a school that was not a Title I school, and they couldn't take field trips and get on the bus, for example, with Title I students. So, okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll move over to this.
So if a student is not qualified as a Title I student, they cannot participate in this, with one exception. Donaldson Hills is a school-wide Title I school, which means any student can participate. But our other schools are targeted school-wide, or targeted Title I schools.
Understood, okay.
So these would be in the hands of intervention students who are Title I eligible. So
Technically speaking, we could have students who are struggling, who are not Title I, who could not.
if they're struggling, they're Title I.
Okay.
You get funded based on free and reduced numbers, you service based on achievement.
Oh, perfect, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I was like, it's so heartbreaking to me.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just like-
anybody who has a
Perfect.
need qualifies
Okay.
for Title I.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. I appreciate it very much.
Other comments or questions? And so just to be clear, these new materials, they map onto and are related to our investments in.
Yes.
These help with the phonemic awareness, so Skip and Scott, there's probably a certain combination.
Yeah,
in Skip
so
and
when you
Scott.
look in the back of these books, it'll tell you which skill they're focusing on and what they're practicing, and the more that they practice this, the more fluent they become, and they really start to lock in that skill so that they can start applying it to other harder texts.
So this would be something for our really early and young readers, and this is just going to continue to track all the way through.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, colleagues, thank you everyone for the information items this evening. We are now going to move on to new business, and we are now going to hand it over to Secretary Jocelyn.
Superintendent's Recommendation 17-23-24, Oakland County Parent Advisory Representative. The Oakland Schools Plan for the Delivery of Special Education Programs and Services specifies that Oakland Schools Board of Education will appoint the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, whose members will serve a 3-year term. Each school district that provides special education services for more than 100 students may have 2 representatives. Kenzie Bisbing, current representative, is stepping down, and the remainder of her term is vacant. She was previously appointed to serve along with Megan Howie for a 3-year term expiring June 30th, 2024. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint Kelly Harnd to serve as a Waterford School District Special Education Parent Advisory Committee representative for the remainder of the vacant term expiring June 30th, 2024. I so move.
Support.
Thank you. The motion's been moved and supported. Colleagues, any comments or questions? Yes, Member Sutherland.
I just want to, I don't know if I do this before or after we approve this, but I wanted to thank, this is a tremendous, I don't know if this, Kelly is in the audience.
She
You did speak. Thank you so much for stepping up, for your service in this very important way. And it can be a thankless job, and I just want to take an opportunity on behalf of the district to thank you, because it's an incredibly important role to have your parent voice. And I know you're amazing, so that's awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yes, Member Wagner.
And we would be remiss not to thank Ms. Megan Howie as well, who also happens to be sitting in the audience. So thank you both. It is an honor, and thank you for serving our district and our children in this way.
Thank you to Ms. Kinsey Bisbeen for her service, too. So.
And if I could just add quickly, these are volunteer positions. These are non-paid positions. Both of these parents work tirelessly. They attend meetings late into the evening at Oakland Intermediate School District. We communicate frequently on many issues that are with our district. We'll be getting back together on a regular meeting time monthly, fingers crossed on work schedules, but throughout the year, just to make sure that they represent our voice, not only on local issues, but at the county level as well, and when called upon, even at the state level, when we have some issues going on. So we're very, very grateful to have both of these parents here with us and doing the work that they do for us and for our students and for our families.
Well, we hope, once we get this vote over with here, we hope to hear from you again, because we want to make sure that we support that work, because it's so, so important. So, okay, colleagues, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. The motion carries 7-0. Congratulations, and thank you again. All right. Excellent. Let's now turn it back to Secretary Joslin for our Children's Village Agreement.
Superintendent's Recommendation 18-23-24, Children's Village Agreement. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the revised agreement with Oakland County Children's Village 2023 through 2028. I so move.
Support.
Thank you. The motion has been moved and supported. Are there any comments or questions regarding Recommendation 18-23-24? Okay, excellent. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. The motion carries 7-0. Secretary Joslin.
Superintendent's Recommendation 19-23-24, Administrative Appointment. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following administrative appointment for the 2023-2024 school year. Kyle Schultz, Principal, Pierce Middle School, 100% administrator contract, effective date August 14th, 2023. I so move.
Support.
Thank you. The motion is moved and supported. Colleagues, maybe let's vote and then take a few minutes afterwards. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Schultz.
If I could, I want to say a few things about Kyle. Kyle has been with the Waterford Schools, you can go ahead and go on up there, for 18 years. He was a Kettering teacher for 11 and also an assistant athletic director of Waterford Kettering. And for the last 7 years, he has been the assistant principal at Pierce Middle School. We're very pleased. It was a very strong interest. We had 64 applications. 9 were invited for interviews. We interviewed 8. We ended up with 3 finalists. And of course, Kyle was the one that we chose, and stakeholders were well represented. So congratulations, Kyle.
I don't know how it's been 18 years, but it feels like I was, just the 22-year-old kid coming into the district. I know how lucky I am to have worked in the same district for my whole career. I've never been more proud of our district. I really appreciate you guys trusting me in such an important position. I wouldn't be here without the peer staff who has really been phenomenal ever since I've been there. Central office, Superintendent Lindbergh have all been very supportive of me throughout my career. And I think I'd be remiss without giving a big thank you to Mrs. Dixon, who, and it's unheard of nowadays to be in a position for 18 years. And so I hope to continue the amazing work she's done there and work with you guys in order to provide our community with the education they deserve.
Well, welcome so much. Thank you. This is amazing. And registration was tonight, so we're looking forward to hearing all about that, right?
Right.
Yeah. You're getting 2 Ristage Pierce Pirates.
I know.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right. Welcome. Congratulations. All right. We're now going to turn it over to Treasurer Sutherland for consideration of certain purchases.
Thank you, President Risich. Superintendent's recommendation 20-23-24, Early Childhood Center Playground Equipment Purchase. As part of the 2020 bond approved by voters on August 4th, 2020, a new Stepanski Early Childhood Center building was included. The new building will be positioned on the same parcel as the existing one, but in a different location. This will allow the programs currently at Stepanski to continue during construction. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the playground equipment purchase from Game Time in the amount of $312,964.18 from the Omnia Cooperative. The funds for this purchase are in the 2020 bond. This purchase does not include the sensory play area in Area C or miscellaneous equipment not available from Game Time. The sensory play area is an alternate in the installation bid. I so move.
Support.
Support. Thank you. The motion has been moved and supported. Any comments or questions, colleagues, regarding the playground equipment purchase? Member Patricia, please.
Have we ever thought about like just cardboard boxes and wooden spoons? That's what kids like to play with. We always buy them fancy toys. I talk about it at Christmas every year with my drink. Why do they need the fancy stuff? Cardboard box and a wooden spoon. Okay, guess not.
Member Jocelyn.
I have a question. Can you go to their website and look this stuff up? I'm like dying to see what this stuff looks like. There was nothing that I loved more than planning out my kids' backyard when they were little, and I just tore it down. So.
You can see some of it, but
Okay.
if there is anything missing, I can get you pictures, because we do have obviously pictures of every piece that we look at so that we could look at the different options. So
Right.
yes, I can always get that for you.
Okay. It's just some of it just looks, I can't wait to see it. It's got wind chimes and, yeah, the Discover Cave. We need to have an adult night maybe
Right.
there, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings up a real question I do have. Is the playground open? Again, our elementary schools have always been open, but this is smaller kids, you have to have it closed up. How is this accessible?
So when we did the design, we wanted to make sure that we included a component for the community use. So if you look on the map, the northwest quadrant area, it's a very large play area. That is actually sort of split in half with a fence, so that the half that is on the east side will be accessible for the community at all times, and then the one that's on the west side will be enclosed by a fence and protected. So our kids, when they're actually out, they'll be able to use both pieces of that, but when the school is closed, the fence is closed, the community will still be able to use part of that.
Member Sutherland.
Thank you. The sensory, there's a statement, and I'm not exactly sure what it means. So the purchase does not include the sensory play area in Area C, but it says the sensory play area is an alternate in the installation bid. What does that mean, an alternate in the installation
So what we
bid?
did is, we weren't sure about the cost of that particular feature. It was included in the site drawings. It is actually in the southwest portion of it. And so we did not include any of those items in this purchase. We wanted to see how it came through the installation bid. And as you'll see later, we are not recommending that to be done at this time because it's just cost prohibitive at this point. But we wanted to include it as for the installation to get an idea, but it's not part of this equipment. So what we would have done is if the installation bid came back and it was a reasonable amount, then we would have then brought to the board those items that were actually in the sensory location. The idea with that particular piece of the playground was to introduce water and some other features in there. So we have it all set up. There is actually water going to it and everything. It's just not going to be connected. But in the future, when we have funds available, we'll be able to do that section of the playground. We were just anticipating that it could be more expensive, and we wanted to basically see how the bids came in before we went ahead and actually purchased that equipment.
So we're not purchasing the equipment, but we are purchasing the installation, like all the underground work?
No, the installation was already part of a previous bid because we knew we had to do the water lines and stuff to it. But we also knew based on that, we would do it as a closed water line. So if in the future we decide we want to have that sensory, we would have all the underground work already done. And so that it would just be purchasing the equipment and doing the installation and hookup.
Is this the same water area that we talked about when we went through is that one in the same?
Yes, I believe it is, yes.
Okay, so there's no water area yet, and that would be a separate bid that would come to the board?
Correct. And, well, based on the installation bid, we are not recommending moving forward with that part. We will just put grass for now. And then in the future, if we have funds available, such as through a grant, like we've been have the opportunity that we did for the furniture, we will go ahead and move forward with that.
Okay. Thank you. I do recall before we ever broke ground, a long time ago when we were first looking at the plans, that there was a lot of stuff out there that we were all kind of like, oh, that seems like a little bit much right now, and we need to kind of rein this in. So I appreciate that, but I thought the water was a done deal, so I was trying to figure out what that was. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Colleagues, any other comments or questions here? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. The motion carries 7-0. We're going to stay with Treasurer Sutherland, playground equipment installation.
Thank you. Superintendent's recommendation 21-23-24, early childhood center playground installation. It is recommended that the board approve the installation of the playground equipment at Stepanski to Michigan Recreational Construction Incorporated for the base bid in the amount of $164,500. Funding for this bid comes from the 2020 bond Series 2. It is not recommended to move forward with alternate number 1 or alternate number 2, and I so move.
Support.
Thank you, colleagues. The motion has been moved and supported. Any comments or questions? Member Sutherland?
Normally when we have, these really substantial recommendations, we ask if we've ever done business. I'm assuming that we have not ever had an opportunity to do business, but that you have had some experience with this vendor on other projects that you have overseen. Is that correct?
Yes, Michigan, they have done several Bartonello projects, and the most recent ones have been for Lapeer School, Bloomfield Hills, and then also Imlay City. They've been in business for over 25 years, so they've had solid recommendations. So it's, yes.
Thank you, I appreciate knowing that.
Colleagues, other comments or questions regarding playground installation? Okay, thank you for being here, Carla. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you. The motion carries 7-0. Okay. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Mrs. Elka. Okay, we are now done with new business. So we will now move on to public comments on non-action items. So I have one green card here. Let's please welcome up Eileen Tucker? Eileen? Eileen? Eileen. Right over here, please, the podium. And while Ms. Tucker, you're coming up here, I'll read our couple reminders here. So anyone who addresses the board tonight should be reminded that comments are limited to 3 minutes in duration. Members of the public are invited to share comments. However, this is not intended to be a time for questions and answers. Lastly, participants may speak only once on the same topic and are, of course, asked to avoid statements that are personally directed, abusive, or abstain. So Ms. Tucker, welcome.
Hi. I live on Pleasant Drive in Huntoon Village. I'm here today because as a subdivision, we are asking for the gate at Waterford Kettering to be closed. It is a safety issue. If you go down Pleasant Drive, it is barely enough for 2 cars to get by. There are no sidewalks. So somebody like me who walks my dog on a daily basis is likely to get hit. They come barreling down like it's a raceway. The buses, it's students. And so besides for the safety factor, and we did bring, I believe last month, a petition. We had it signed by at least 200 people in the sub. And, you know, we asked for it to be closed during the school hours. In my conversation with all of these people, they all said no. They really wanted to be closed for good because of the safety factor. Us, our dogs, our kids, it's awful. And then all of that extra traffic, because those buses are empty and they're barreling down the road and they're cutting through Pleasant, and our roads are already horrible. So they're full of potholes, they're full of puddles. I mean, 2 cars are coming, you have to like almost jump off the side of the road if you don't want to get splashed or hit. So I know it's been brought up. I've never heard anything put on an agenda, or are we doing anything? Are we talking about it? Are we taking it seriously? Because it really is horrible. And you know, as a homeowner, I can tell you I'm very sorry I moved into Waterford right now because of the road situation and because of what I have to deal with. I should be able to walk my dog on a daily basis and feel safe, and I don't.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Appreciate you being here and sharing that. All right, is there anyone else who'd like to address the board this evening? Okay, I think we have Ms. McGregor, and then you right afterwards, please. Welcome.
Good, hello. I'd like to speak on 2 pieces. 2 weeks ago at your cowl, you did a remarkable thing. You helped with the salaries of our teachers. They're not where they need to be, but I'm an advocate of our teachers and our staff. If it wasn't for Waterford, my kids would not be as successful as they are. I remember you and Alex was there. She now is a PhD student who does cancer research because of this district. My other daughter's an engineer. Our teachers and our staff make such an important difference for each child. And that's so essential to our community. So what we're doing with the Department of Education, Tiffany Tilley, some of the things that they're doing at the state board is remarkable. We still need to keep going. It's just a start. I love talking about education in our kids. So help us with that. Keep going, keep moving forward, keep making a difference. Now I'm going to speak to my other part. We're up to 1,000 signatures. I have gone out and got those. We're not asking for anything that comes out of the budget. What the citizens are asking is when there is nothing going on at Kettering, to have the janitor go back and lock the gate. It's as simple as that. Teachers teach children how to solve problems and to look at solutions. The kids are seeing the solutions and how to make a difference. If this helps the people in Huntoon Estates and the people down Van Zam to believe that their community cares about them, isn't it just as easy to have them lock the gate when there is no school? It's just a simple ask. It doesn't cost anything. The janitors are on duty. They can literally take the truck to the back. I've timed it. It takes 90 seconds to go back there, probably 2 minutes to put the lock on, and then come back around. Doesn't cost anything for a gate to be locked. It makes the subdivision feel that they're important. The fact that this says no trucks back there, they've had commercial vehicles all summer long. And they really haven't been they've been upset, but they haven't come here and yelled and shouted and jumped up and down. We have less population in our schools than we've ever had. Tom Wiseman was a wonderful financial person in this district. Whenever we did something, we would always send out a notice to that neighborhood to let them know that there was going to be a change. Maybe doing something like that, engaging the community and making them believe they're part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. McGregor. Welcome. Hi there, welcome.
Hi, my name is Nicole. I am a parent of a child who is going into Stepanski, as well as a parent of a child who just left Stepanski. My son was a part of the GSRP program last year, and part of where our family was childcare. I knew what the childcare costs were. My daughter graduated from speech this year, so did not qualify for GSRP, but is going to do preschool there. I was extremely shocked when I was told the new childcare prices for Stepanski. It's a 177% increase for us. As a parent, I was shocked because it's almost going to cost us as much to pay for 2 hours of childcare as it's going to cost for the preschool program a month because of the block system. I understand that we have to raise prices because prices haven't been raised in a long time, and I fully understand that. But when my son's going to Houghton, and it's $10 per session, and right now it's going to cost $29.75 for the afternoon and the morning, versus $20 at Houghton. That's huge, and for a parent, that's a big price shock going from, we probably paid $18 last year a day for my child to go to childcare, to where now I have to consider, can we afford that additional cost on top of that, now having 2 kids in childcare, on top of paying for preschool? I'm paying more for preschool and childcare than I was paying for daycare. Had I known ahead of time, I would have just appreciated the heads up that costs were rising that much, because I would have kept my daughter in daycare versus preschool. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you being here and sharing that. Anyone else who'd like to address the board this evening? Okay. So colleagues, we're not going to move on to Board of Education reports. And just as a quick reminder, our Board of Education reports, they have a very specific reason that it's there. This is a moment for us to be able to offer updates, reports on upcoming events, our community committee work, any relevant professional learning. I know oftentimes this is a moment to pay tribute and memorialize folks who might have been a part of our teaching community or WSD community. So just in an effort to make sure we're staying transparent and avoiding any deliberating, let's just have that reminder there as we go forward here, please. So are there any Board of Education reports this evening? Member Wagner.
First, I want to congratulate Mr. Schultz as a Pierce parent and someone who has had the luck of having you as one of our administrators. I will miss Ms. Dixon being in the building, but very happy that she's here. Mr. Schultz is an amazing administrator. Will go above and beyond. He always has, so I'm super excited for you. Congratulations. I also, and hopefully I won't cry, would also like to say we lost a great Pierce teacher recently. And so I just want to send my heartfelt condolences to Mr. Katakowski's family. He was a wonderful teacher. One of my sons had the honor of being one of his students. So if you could all just, keep his family and his 2 children in your thoughts. He was an amazing educator, and he will be missed.
Thank you, Member Wagner. Member Donahue.
I just wanted to wish everyone a good start to the beginning of the school year. A lot of work has gone into this summer with the hiring of teachers and getting the buildings prepared and everything else that not only the staff does through central office, but the building administrators and such. But really looking forward to, I think it's this next Wednesday with the opening.
Yes.
With
Teachers, August 28th for students.
Okay, yeah, August 24th for the teachers and the 28th for the students. And so just looking forward to seeing everything that we've got going in all the buildings on those days.
The Board of Education reports tonight. Member Sutherland?
I just want to piggyback on Mr. Donahue's comments. Just in our consent agenda, we had pages and pages and pages of new employees that were approved tonight, and we are just delighted to have you. We thank you for the work that HR has been doing diligently all summer long to have these amazing new educators joining us. Welcome to Waterford. I think you're going to find it to be an extraordinary place to teach, and I know that's an extraordinary place to learn and to grow. So to all of our teachers and to our students and to all of our bus drivers and our food service workers and our custodians and our paras and our, there are secretaries and I know I'm forgetting somebody, but to all of our staff and our students, I hope it's going to be an amazing school year for you, and we're just delighted to have you back because it's what we're all here for. So.
Member Pachulia?
What Joan said.
Okay, really quick too, an update. Jason Riley organized a wonderful alumni soccer game 2 weeks ago. They raised $7,500 for this 2 soccer programs, so quite the result. In the old guy game, Waterford Kettering came through in a shootout. It was well, there were a lot of sore backs afterwards, but in the young guy game, Waterford Mott came up ahead. So thanks to Jason Riley and everyone. We had great turnout, and thanks to Allison Sartorius for allowing us to use the field. It was just a beautiful night. I know the soccer players were there manning concessions, and $7,500, pretty cool. Orchestra, my boys are in orchestra, and I just wanted to report what a great way to start the school year. We dropped them off at Mason. You had a wonderful staff there cheering our new orchestra members on. And it was so fun and amazing to see all these new orchestra members walking out with the cellos on their backpacks and saxophones in their cases. So just a really, again, speaks to the commitment this district has for our performing arts. A couple weeks ago, I had the chance to go visit Camp WSD, which was our summer school program over there at Riverside. And that was Chris Saporin, the coordinators Chris Saporin, Lauren Wiseman, and Jessica Ristich. And we just had, I really hope next year we all get a chance to go again, because it was just an amazing experience to see what was happening over there at Riverside. It was a place where we got to see so many of the investments we've made over these last couple of years in action. It was also a place where they were working on the next round of innovations. And to see the students there, and get this, there were students who wanted to be in summer school, who were banging on doors and saying, can I please go to summer school? So just amazing. I know our transportation did a great job of making sure that everyone from across the district got there, our food service workers. It was just incredible. And so anyway, I just wanted to thank those coordinators and that whole staff that put that on, because it was an amazing experience. And I hope we all get to go again next year. So let's have a great school year, WSD. All right. Any other board reports? Excellent. We're now going to move on to superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Richards. Well, I'd like to introduce Lena Beck. She is our new Associate Director of Payroll, and she was approved at the last meeting, but she wasn't able to attend. So, Lena, thank you for staying with us tonight. Yeah.
Welcome.
I wanted to let the community know that the Van Zant Road concerns are certainly our concerns, and we are reviewing them with the team. It's very important that we balance the needs and concerns that you have with the needs of our very busy high school, so we will continue to do that. Summer is coming to an end, and we are excited to welcome the WSD community back for another successful school year. Next Wednesday, as Mr. Donahue mentioned, staff is invited to join me for an opening day message and a welcome back luncheon sponsored by Mesa at Mott High School. Middle and high school registration events are underway, and elementary meet and greets take place next Thursday, August 24th, from 4 to 6. We know that those are highly attended and high interest. As a reminder, our first day of school will be Monday as a full day on August 28th, a week from Monday. We are so excited for the return of our staff and students and look forward to an amazing 23-24 school year in Waterford, where the future is bright. Thank you.
All right. So that takes us to the end of our agenda here and closed session. So by roll call vote, the Board of Education will move to closed session to discuss the evaluation of the superintendent. No further action will be taken, and the regular meeting will be adjourned at the conclusion of closed session. So Secretary Joslin, would you please take roll call vote to move to closed session, please?
Member Torres?
Yes.
Member Petrusha?
Yes.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Ristet?
Yes.
Member Wagner?
Yes.
Member Donahue?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Colleagues, let's take just a few minutes, and we'll meet back into our normal conference space. Thank you, everyone.